project. The Competition Commission of India, or CCI, has become the new crusader for the consumers' battle with real estate developers. In the high-profile DLF Bel Air case, the fair play watchdog has filtered out the apartment buyers' agreement of all its allegedly abusive and one-sided clauses. In doing so, the CCI has stirred the hornet's nest. While CCI hopes this model agreement will become the industry standard, developers are not so enthused. Are you surprised? Let's look at what these modified clauses are and what it means for the real estate industry.
A watershed moment for the Indian real estate industry. A potential turning point that could completely change how you and I buy a home. In a landmark move, India's antitrust watchdog, the Competition Commission of India, has modified several abusive clauses of a builder-buy agreement that was being operated by the country's biggest real estate developer, DLF, in its Gurgaon project, Bel Air. The case dates back to May 2010, when apartment allottees of Bel Air dragged DLF to the forum of the Competition Commission of India, alleging abuse of its market dominance with unfair trade practices. Several hotly contested battles later, the CCI, as directed by the Competition Appellate Tribunal, modified the Bel Air buyers agreement, which it had earlier ruled abusive and one-sided.
They have an attitude that they consider the buyers to be investors. In fact, one of the biggest defenses of CCI in the CCI case of DLF is that don't worry about these people. These people are investors. They just buy, sell, make the profit and get out. And because they haven't made the profit this time, that is why they're coming and complaining to you, CCI. That is what they said.
Dissecting the DLF agreement clause by clause, the competition regulator has either reframed or deleted all those terms and conditions that were seen heavily tilted in favor of the developer. CCI has also meticulously put together all laws and acts that regulate the housing sector in Haryana, turning this 104-page document into a literal Bible for property seekers in the state. For instance, open or stilt parking are part of common areas and cannot be sold separately according to the CCI supplementary order. Once the group housing complex has been developed, the builder no longer has any right or concern left in the property. The entire land area of a housing complex falls under the joint ownership of allottees, who have the right to manage the same by forming an association. Builders cannot cancel allotments if external development charges or service tax is unpaid. Non-payment can only invoke a recovery action. CCI mandates that in the event of a default or a delay, the penalty shall be same for both parties. Developers have to inform the allottee about changes in super area in writing in advance. The CCI chief's claim that its modified model buyers agreement can become the industry standard has now sparked an intense debate.
A number of people, developers, have already come on record and have approached authorities to say, please tell us the do's and don'ts after the proceedings of the CCI, to say what is allowed, what is not. We were blindly following an industry practice that has come down from, DLF. DLF is in trouble now. What do we do over here? Can we still use these clauses? No, they cannot. They cannot go ahead and, retain the abusive clauses merely because they are not dominant players.
To say that builder-buyer agreements are going to drastically change over the next 12 months across the industry, sorry, there is no standard builder-buyer agreement which the industry follows. Every builder is free to have his own terms and conditions, which are then open to negotiation with the customer.
The aggrieved buyers fighting this epic battle claim this case is no longer about the abuse of dominance, but an eye-opener on how the entire system in the state of Haryana is being subverted.
This is a wake-up call for a lot of builders as well as for the governance, the state governance, that CCI had to do this. And what is the purpose of your existence? You were already there. DTCP was already there as a regulator. These were the people who were issuing licenses. Now they have to wake up to this call.
The next hearing in the case, scheduled for the 7th of February, will see DLF file its objections to CCI's model agreement. But whatever the outcome, market watchers believe the ball has been set rolling and in the right direction. Small developers till now could pass the buck, justifying their practices by taking the dominant player's example. But this case could just be that one crucial thing needed to puncture this vicious cycle. This case will educate buyers about their rights and powers. After all, an enlightened consumer will eventually become an empowered consumer. Masudha Sharma, NDTV.
Also, in the absence of a real estate regulator, we believe that this is the first and perhaps the only big move for buyers or consumers' protection when it comes to buying real estate in the country. So we will bring you a story tomorrow as well on how developers and experts are viewing this event pan-India and thrash out the issues bear thread in our big realty debate this week, the fight for buyers' rights, CCI versus DLF at 7 p.m. on Thursday with a repeat at 11 p.m. So don't forget to tune in. Meanwhile, also pick up your phone and call us if you've got any views on this case, on this story, or if you're just looking to buy, sell or invest in property. All the details are on your screen. When we come back, what do we have? We have a very special expert segment today. Why tax breaks make real estate mouth-watering. But is that the reason why you should be buying property? Also, well-priced plotted developments in the emerging areas of Jaipur.